Hey guys. Um, so mostly everybody knows me, Sybil Gonzalez. I've been reading a lot of things on how to cope with a loved one's death. What are the best things to do? I've been reading that. It's to talk about it, to write down your thoughts and your feelings, and not that I don't have anybody to talk to, because I do. I have a lot of people to talk to. My husband, which has been the best support, my kids, my mom, my siblings, and I really think that this is going to help me because I want to be able to talk about my dad. So today is July 24th. It's been 1 month since my dad passed away. I'm gonna post several videos. I'm not too sure exactly when I'll do the next one, but I thought this is a start. So especially since it's been 1 month. So the morning of June 24th, my husband wakes me up around 3:50 a.m. I hear him saying, Sybil, come on, we've got to go. Of course, I'm barely awake. I feel him sitting me up. I right away noticed that the bedroom lights were on and that he was dressed. And then the next thing I noticed was the look in his eyes while he's helping me out of bed, saying, "It's your dad." So the next few minutes of me getting dressed, my shoes on, and the drive to my parents' house, which is, most of y'all know, it's just a couple of minutes away. It's all a blur. I think about it and I don't remember, honestly, getting dressed and putting my shoes on. But we drive up to my parents' house, and of course, I see an ambulance there and a police car there. So I walked into my parents' house, and it was as if I just walked into a dream. Of course, a bad dream. Everything was slow motion. Like, I could hear people talking, but I really couldn't make out what people were saying. I could hear them, but I couldn't. It was like a bad dream. There was a police officer standing with my mom in the kitchen. My mom was talking to me. I could hear her, but I couldn't understand what she was saying. So I walked towards my parents' bedroom, and I could see that my dad was lying on the floor, halfway through the hallway and his bedroom. As I got closer, I could see the paramedics are doing chest compressions with some type of like electronic device. The machine was very powerful and loud. I mean, I could see my dad's body move as it forcefully does the compressions. And I mean, till this day, I can hear the sound of that machine. The paramedics were dressed in PPE from head to toe, and my dad had COVID-19, and I will get to that probably in another video. But I saw my dad's face, and I kneeled down and I held his hand. I quickly got up and returned to the kitchen to where my mom was at. At that point, I still hadn't really processed exactly what was happening, and everything was still like in slow mode. You know, it was really weird. The paramedics approached us as we were in the kitchen and asked us if we wanted them to continue the chest compressions. They also added that they could start an IV. They could intubate him to take him to the hospital, and that he was probably not going to ever come out of that. And like, in order for him to breathe, he would probably have to be put on a machine. Of course, I said yes, because I want my dad alive. So the paramedics walked back to where my dad was at. I hear my sister Becky's voice. She wasn't even there. She was in Hutto, Texas, where she lives. But my husband had called her and had her on speakerphone to talk to me. And then I hear my husband telling me, Sybil, think about what you're doing. And then I hear my sister also say, you know, yes, Sybil, he wouldn't want to be like this. So then I realized I had to go tell the paramedics not to continue, which I've been having to deal with that part. So I walked from the kitchen to my parents' bedroom. It felt like the longest walk ever. And of course, I'm still in this slow motion mode. I told them to stop, but it wasn't loud enough, so no one heard me. So I said it again, and this time I said it louder, and I touched one of the paramedics' arms, and I told them to please stop. I stood there while they gathered all their things and put their stuff away, and as they walked out, they told me they were very sorry. I sat next to my dad, and I held his hand, and I still felt the warmness in his hands, and I even touched his face and his neck, and they also still felt warm. I sat there holding his hand, and I told him that I was sorry that this happened to him. And that I will forever love him. I grabbed a pillow and I put it under his head, and I covered him up to his chest with his favorite blanket, this flannel red blanket that he loved. I sat back down next to him holding his hand, and I watched family members like my other brother and my nieces and nephews, my sister-in-law, my sister, as they walked, you know, in and out, of course, also in disbelief. My own kids, seeing their lifeless grandpa is something I never want to see again. Felt my husband come in and out of the room to check on me. I felt his hands on my shoulders, giving me that comfort squeeze, you know, let me know he was there. I walked outside while the funeral home men went inside to get my dad. We all stood outside waiting in the front yard. A few minutes later, they walked out with my dad in a body bag. I looked at my mom, and that's when reality hit that my dad's dead. So the hearse drives off, and my oldest brother, Mukul, drives up. He was at a job site in Cotulla, and he drove as soon as over here as soon as he was notified, but he barely missed it. He barely missed the hearse. He almost made it in time to see him. That was probably another moment for all of us that my dad was gone. So my dad was my heart, my everything, my rock. I've said it many times, but he's now gone. The pain of missing him hurts so much every day. And my biggest worry is that I will never feel the same again. Thanks for listening, and I plan in the future to make some more videos so that I can talk about some other things that are really hard to handle also right now. So, but thank you.